cargo feeders. Since the shop is more or less complete, we will actually be working on some truck stuff, the fun things to do. In this episode, we will be separating the front half of the frame rail from the back half in preparation of cutting out the chunk that we don't need and re-welding it back together to shorten the wheelbase so it can fit underneath my 78 F250. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future content on the Modern Frame Squad. We have a 2018 Dodge Ram 2500 frame, chassis, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to be cutting up, modifying it so it fits under the body of the 1978 F250. To recap on why I purchased this frame, it's a better frame completely overall. 40 years of engineering has really come a long ways, and as you can see, this is what it looks like. But to recap, it's a better built frame, it's stronger, completely boxed in. The axles, both front and rear, are bigger, better, beefier to handle more power. They're four-linked, so you won't get any axle wrap. You have four-corner coil suspension for better ride quality, hopefully. And also, standard, you have disc brakes for better stopping power. And they're bigger too. The truck right here started out as a 2018 Dodge Ram 2500. It was a crew cab, long box, so I knew it was at least long enough for me to work with, but I wanted to take out a chunk and probably make my own body mounts. After looking over it, I realized this right here is a pretty straight section and probably where their mega cab sat. So I'm going to have to take out the mega cab portion and make it back into a regular cab truck. We will only get one chance to cut and weld this frame back together, so we have to make an accurate measurement. How do you do that? Well, I came up with what I think is a pretty good solution. I modeled this 3D printed part in CAD and had it 3D printed. What this does is it marks the center of the hub, both front and rear. I'm going to take my measurement on this truck as well as my 78 F250, subtract the difference, cut the frame, and weld it back together. Let me show you. What I've done is I've lined this box up with the center point of this cone here. I'm going to attach my tape measure, place it on the box, pull this out, and then measure the distance. This box will move a little bit, so I gotta be a little bit careful. So, just like that. I noticed my camera died. That measurement was 169 inches. So now we'll take these tires off and then put the plastic 3D printed piece on there and take this measurement. So 169, 133, subtract 133 from 169, you got yourself 36 inches, so 3 feet we have to take out of that frame. Now that we know our measurements, we can kind of mark out where we need to cut. So my original plan was to just cut right down the middle, butt it up together, weld the seam. But doing research, I found out that that does not make a very strong cut, and so what people do is they make a diagonal line on there and weld that seam. I guess it's a longer weld and less chances of the weld actually cracking. However, talking to a couple of friends who are in the body repair business, we have this factory weld right here. So what they suggested is that I grind this out and then I pull the frame back out, I cut it, shove the frame back in there, and then factory weld it once again. That's a factory approved weld, so it's probably the best way I could do it here. One of the big benefits and the things that I was worried about is actually once I'm driving this down the road many years from now, I don't want the weld to fail, crack and fail. So if I put it in here, it's recessed in here, which will keep any side-to-side load to a minimum, and therefore probably reducing the chances of it actually cracking and failing. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take my square and right on the edge of this frame, whatever you want to call that, I'm just going to mark a straight line up and down. And then I have a reference point to go off of, which might help me further down the road. Right there. So what we need to do before we do anything is these body mounts, I don't think they're going to help me whatsoever, so I'm just going to grind them off. I'm going to save them in case I can somehow repurpose them or a portion of them later. into grinding off these welds. Now that the fuel lines, brake lines, AC lines, fuel tank, and wiring harness are stripped off this frame, we can grind at these. I'm going to start on the bottom, that way that's not the last thing that falls on me. So starting from the bottom, working my way up, and the very top of the weld here will be the last step. Then hopefully I can easily pull these apart and cut out what I need. Well, we got half of one side done, and it took, I think, an hour and 20 minutes. So this is gonna take a really, really long time, but I think it's actually gonna work, and it's gonna come out pretty easy. So, as you can see, there's a nice gap. Hold on, let me get you a little bit more in focus. There. A nice gap all the way down and around, but we still have the complete other side to do, and the other side over there. Well, we finally finished up both sides of the frame. I have grinded out those welds and then shoved the chisel through there to spread the frame rail pocket open a little bit more. So now we can actually hopefully pull this thing apart. Hoping it comes apart easy. If not, I guess we'll have to use some leverage. We just separated the frame and it's pretty unreal looking. I've never seen anything like it. It's definitely a little nerve-wracking. I've never done anything like this before, so hopefully it doesn't go to waste. But if it does, like I said, I can sell it for parts and make my money back. But here, check it out. Now that the frame is separated, this is going to wrap up today's video. So be sure to give it a like if you like what I did, comment what I could do better, and subscribe so you don't miss me cutting the section that we don't need out and re-welding it back together.